Hey guys, welcome back to another episode of KSP Resurgence. Today we are finishing our Trom Grand Tour with 2 landings. We landed on the previous 2 bodies in the previous episode. This will be part 2 of the Trom 4, as it's called. I really like the way my interplanetary vehicle turned out, and there's some parallax glitches in the background, please ignore those. If I sound a little strange, that's because I'm sick right now, so I apologize for any weird audio going on. Anyway, the final 2 moons, or more like asteroids, one of them is... We're landing on the largest moon today. It's Adiv, I believe it's called. It's kind of bluish. I like the way it looks. And also, we're landing on, I think it was Etnus, which is the 3rd and final moon. It's also the smallest. It's so small, I don't even think it should be considered a planetary body. It should be considered an asteroid. A lot of weird glitches happen when you orbit a body that small. Some glitches you'll see later this episode. Yeah, I did fat finger that time warp over there, so I did have to redo the maneuver a bit. I really hate when that happens. And it's really annoying is this IPV is a little slow to turn. It's really annoying when doing plane change maneuvers because you're always 1 degree off. It's the worst. Maybe wondering what mod this is. It's called Celestial Harmony. It's a new system replacer. I really like it. It really pushes the bar. And this is Trom. It's a oblate dwarf planet with plenty of moons. I will also be surveying most of these places just so I can see if they're viable for any colonies in the future. I'm not surveying any of the really small moons just because it won't let me. And also, I just do not want to deal with a low gravity. So I only surveyed Trom and Adiv, which is the moon we're about to land on right now. Well, I'm trying to get an encounter with it, but it's being a little tricky today. And finally, I was able to get one. I'm making sure I'm coming in on a polar trajectory just so I don't have to do any finagling with the maneuvers to get the system scan. I really like the way this moon looks. I like the colors, it just looks cool. The texturing is also amazing. You know, I've landed on this planet moon before because I did it in my previous save file that I didn't do on YouTube. So I know, I've already been here, I know what it looks like. But a couple of these moons, the really small ones, I haven't landed on yet. So going in blind for those 2. I don't want to spoil myself for all the content. I want to discover it myself, and hopefully you're discovering it yourself with this video. Either that or you play it yourself. I mean, spoilers are the worst. If you want to go see what all the other planets have to offer, then go ahead. I'm not stopping you. I'm not the boss of you. But it's really good just to... It's really fun to play the mod and be surprised at what it has to offer. Anyway, I should probably be talking about what we're doing on screen. We are arriving at Adiv, finally, after 2 landings. I'm really proud with how the lander turned out. It can carry 6 Kerbals, but I'm not actually cramming... I think I did cram 6 Kerbals in here for this landing, but like for the next one I didn't, just because I didn't want to EVA them all, just because it's kind of annoying to EVA 6 Kerbals and get them back on board. Especially on a low-gravity world where the camera is going to trip out. It'd be even worse if on a... What was it? I forget the name of it, but like on the smallest moon, the gravity was so low, the moon was so small that it caused lots of glitches. If you're wondering how I got the text on the fuel tank on the side, I used a mod called Conformal Decals. Lets you do stuff with flags, pictures, and custom text, complete with a NASA Google font. Now, I did have to extend my orbit a little bit just so I can actually use a scanning tool. And unfortunately, Adiv is a barren rock with... It doesn't even have metallic ore. I mean, it has plain old regular ore, but like nothing else that's useful. So this is definitely a no-go for colonization. Trom might also be a no-go just because it doesn't have... Well, I might colonize Trom, but to be honest, I'd rather colonize a moon or planet somewhere further out in the system. I probably colonized one of Magnifica's moons, which is a big pinkish purple magenta gas giant. So I probably want to colonize one of those moons. There's plenty to choose from too. Good thing I packed the survey scanner on just so I can see where the colony should go. Colonies in Kerbal Space Program with the Kerbal Colonies mod are incredibly powerful. They simplify ISV and IPV construction dramatically, meaning instead of having to orbitally assemble a massive interplanetary vehicle or interstellar vehicle, you can just do it in one go on the launch pad. Now, you do have to have a hangar facility in VAB big enough, but thankfully there is a large hangar facility that has virtually unlimited space, so I don't have to worry about splitting up my vehicle just so I can build it. We did have an excess amount of fuel in this lander after all these missions. I could have gone to another planet, actually, or dwarf planet. You know, the Proxima's better Dres mod, which is made by the same author of Celestial Harmony, is compatible with Celestial Harmony. It just adds the better Dres, but it renames it to Rack. I was actually thinking about going to Rack just because I have the fuel and why not. But it was on another side of the solar system. I mean, I could have just bit the bullet and waited a while, but I did not want to do that. I just want my science and I want it now. If you know what I mean. Anyway, we have finally landed on Adiv and beginning the EVA. 6 Kerbals on a new world. You probably won't be coming back here considering the lack of resources. Still looks nifty though. In the next steps, though, you can be one of these Kerbalnauts. There's an application form in the description. Just fill out your name, some what you want your Kerbal to be like, and I'll put you in the save file. You too can go on brave missions like this to be violently killed, or worse, stranded. I never strand my Kerbals. I've never killed a Kerbal. Whenever something has gone awry, I just loaded a quick save or reverted. I like to take care of my Kerbals. I don't strand them either. I mean, I do put them in surface bases where I just leave them there for years. Like, I had this one playthrough where these Kerbals were on a surface base on Mignus for 100 years. Over a century, but, it was pretty luxurious. It was a nice base. I have a picture of it. Maybe I'll put it up for you. And, yeah, it's a really nice surface base. From a time before I really actively uploaded. So that was pretty cool. I mean, I have so many Kerbal Space Program screenshots saved. Like, every mission I do, I take a screenshot. I mean, I'm not sure if everyone knows this. I certainly didn't for a while, but you can actually take a Kerbal Space Program screenshot by pressing F1, I believe is the default key. This is completely independent from Steam's or Windows screenshot system. I started using it just because the Steam screenshots are like too low res and the Windows ones were too oversaturated. So I'm really glad that they actually included it. In fact, I do believe the default Steam screenshot key and the default KSP screenshot key are actually the same. So whenever I took a Steam screenshot, I also took a KSP one. So I had a bunch of screenshots lying around that I didn't even know existed, which is pretty cool. Anyway, we are rendezvousing with the mothership, Tenacity. I really like that name. Felt like it was a really, really nice adjective describing the amount of determination and grit we needed to get this far in the playthrough. And certainly we will be needing such tenacity later in the playthrough, especially during our next landing, which is riddled with bugs. I mean, why is it that whenever I try landing a really small planet moon in this series, it always goes wrong? Like, first, the mothership, like, vanished. Then the game crashed. It's just ridiculous. Kerbal Space my KSP install is being held together with hopes and dreams, but despite that, it runs surprisingly well. I mean, Kerbal Space Program developers, I mean mod developers, are really pushing the bar. They're pushing this game to its absolute limits. Like I heard, Promised Worlds, which adds the scrapped Deb system from Kerbal Space that was going to be in Kerbal Space Program 2. And I heard that Gerdama, which is a really somewhat, just like a proto-Earth kind of planet, actually has seasonal volcanic winters, where the whole planet's covered in ash, apparently. So that's like really, really cool. I didn't even know that was possible with Copernicus. I mean, maybe you'll at least need the expansion for that, but I'm not sure. I have dabbled in development myself, but I haven't really uploaded anything, just because I'm not a good developer. I mean, last time I tried developing an ocean world, the ocean was in space for some reason, so that was really weird. Anyway, one landing down, one to go. This mission is almost over. I wonder how much science I'll get. You know, if you can guess how much science you're gonna get from this mission in the comments, who knows? Maybe I'll give the winner a shout out or something. Whatever much science we get, it's gonna be a lot, and I'm gonna do a lot with it. I'm probably gonna get some more fission technologies, just because getting fission fragments and enriched uranium is way easier than getting fusion fuel, at least on the crop colony. So I'm probably gonna do some more stuff with fission-based technologies and propulsion before I move on to further future technologies. I mean, the most advanced fission rocket is the nuclear saltwater one, but I won't be unlocking that for ages. Besides, most of the technology unlocked in the same node is just better. Fuel is just hard to get, and it's a little bit tricky. Like, for example, like Beam Core Antimatter, although it's the best engine in the game by raw stats, especially with Pact Emporium, which buffs it like 10 times over, probably more than that. It's still somewhat hard to use just because antimatter is really difficult to get. I mean, most interplanetary vehicles these days just use fission pellets, sorry, and then they use a antimatter factory to turn those into antimatter. Just because storing lots of antimatter takes a lot of electric charge, and if you run out of electricity, it will all explode, which is not ideal. Anyway, we have a rendezvous with our next moon landing, or an encounter, not a rendezvous. I get my terminology straight. Quick little shot. Well, it's not cinematic. I still have the UI open. You know, the maneuver tool is really finicky during this maneuver, just because the sphere of influence is so small. Like, if you sneeze, you'll end up going in a different trajectory. Not to mention that some unseen force was pulling at my craft and moving the apoapsis slightly. Thankfully, Time Warp was able to cancel this out, and I just warped into the sphere of influence without a care in the world. I mean, just every so often, like, that happens where Phantom Force pulls my craft in a different direction. I mean, it's really annoying. Thankfully, just a quick load will fix it. I did end up missing the encounter that the game insisted I had. One of the Kerbals probably sneezed or breathed wrong and shifted the trajectory just by a tiny little bit. Because this is a really, really small asteroid moon. Thankfully, a very, very cheap maneuver was all we needed to get on the right track. well as that, I made us go in a really nice orbit also. I'm really glad I remembered antenna on this, just because my very first interplanetary vehicle I forgot antenna. This ship's antenna are really good. They're like the best in stock Kerbal space program. So these antenna are not going obsolete anytime soon. I mean, the only time they'll go obsolete is like if we go like really far. Like I'm talking like Planet 9 far. Like the edge of the, not the edge of the sphere of influence of the star, but just really far out. And then again, we probably will have to get new antenna for interstellar distances. But like, not even like near future exploration can do that kind of stuff. Thankfully, I believe Celestial Harmony comes with an antenna that's way too overpowered for its own good, but it gets the job done. Another thing I should point out is that the orbit lines in the craft sprite are really goofed up on the map view because they're completely detached from the orbit lines when you're time warping. Which is really weird. Speaking of time warping, when I was undocked the lander, time warping caused me to teleport, or like caused the moon to like jerk or something. Really weird. And also we have no apoapsis, which is a little unfortunate. I mean, Kerbal Engineer Redux still gives us a reroute, so I suppose all is well. Anyway, with that, all of our crew is aboard the lander, and we can finally begin our descent. Can't forget to quick save though, because things will definitely go wrong if we don't. I mean, things will still go wrong if we quick save or not, but like, we have insurance in case things inevitably go wrong. Thankfully, I didn't encounter any game crashes or mysterious vessel disappearances, so that was actually fortunate. However, if you breathe in ground orbit, you will actually go on an escape trajectory, just because like the slightest little push of RCS sends you on a completely different course. And also, time warp does some really weird things. For example, when I initiate time warp, no, you didn't see it in this clip. It shows up later, but I was experiencing this really weird glitch that whenever I activated time warp, I ended up on a completely different side of the moon. It's really weird. Not to mention our rate of descent was really slow. You know, this asteroid moon is so small that if you like move your camera, you'll actually notice how small it is. Like, usually, if you move your camera in an orbit around the bigger body, like it doesn't move that much in perspective. But if you do it here, you'll like notice, oh my gosh, it's such a small asteroid. If you zoom out far enough, you can actually do a somewhat decent size comparison. Anyway, we're about to land, and I'm gotta make sure we actually do it right. You know, with these low gravity moons, it's really annoying. If you actually land with your landing legs, it'll just push you back into space. So you have to use the RCS just to push you back down. Thankfully, this landing went mostly without a hitch. There's some bugs, but we managed to get on the ground safely. Wish we could say the same about the ascent, but more on that later. Anyway, you can finally get out and start doing the beautiful science. But first we transmit a crew report just because we can. Now, I usually do not put antenna on my landers just because I always forget. I was able to remember this time, so thankfully we have that convenience of having an antenna to transmit science. The gravity really had me here just because the camera kept tripping out. Thankfully though, I was able to get a stable footing and plant a flag. Anyway, with that, we can finally return to the lander and return to the mothership. I'm not going to EV all the Kerbals just because that'd be a death sentence for me. Like, the gravity here is so low that the camera will change. It, like, thinks you're in an orbital trajectory if you, like, press shift a little bit and start using your RCS pack. We do have to collect all this precious science, though, because why would we land here if we're not getting science? I mean, if we don't get any science, we actually come home with literally nothing. I mean, if you're playing on career, you'll get, like, world firsts and stuff, but in science, you have to collect that science. And the camera is really having a tough time with this landing right now. Thankfully, I won't be doing any low-gravity landings anytime soon. Unless one of my next destinations just so happens to have really, really low gravity. I don't think I won't be encountering any more asteroid-like moons for a long time, though. Anyway, we accelerated to 1.4 meters per second and just ended up on an escape trajectory. So I gotta be really careful here. Try to do a direct transfer, but it's proven to be really, really difficult. Especially since whenever I time warp, it teleports me several kilometers away from the mothership. You can see, I'm close to it, like a couple of kilometers away from it, and then I time warp and I'm 5 kilometers away from it. So I just decided to bite the bullet and use physics warp, because it doesn't bug out with physics warp. I do burn quite a bit just so I can actually get there in a timely manner. Thankfully, this footage is sped up, so you don't have to stick around here waiting and see all my woes and miseries. Anyway, that was like about 5 minutes of anguish I saved you. You're welcome. What really is the best part about Kerbal Space Program? Is it the landings? Is it designing the rockets? Is it actually getting to these destinations in the first place? I'm not sure, I guess it's up to your interpretation of what you like about Kerbal Space Program. Anyway, that will be the end of this episode. I hope you enjoyed it, and I'll see you all later. Bye!